Let's just take you through the big messages that have come out from perhaps the most important image of the day today. The three leaders, Putin, Modi, and Xi Jinping, they've met. That's the most shared image from Tianjin today. So I want to quickly just decode for our viewers what we think, we at NDTV think these images actually mean. There is an unprecedented alignment among India, Russia, and China, RIC as it is being called, which is undeniable. But apart from that, let's move to the next one. There is common cause against US hegemony. This is not being said in words, but that does appear to be the message because there is a special quality to this common cause. Let's keep moving. Let's move to the next point. Trump has triggered leaders of half the world's population. These three leaders standing together, a conversation which we cannot hear, is an important one. And therefore, what Trump is going to take from it, and we're all waiting to see what that reply is going to be important. Trump has forced India, China to manage their contradictions. We just heard a guest talk about those obvious contradictions and rapprochements in the past. Is it going to be different this time? Indications suggest so. India signals non-alignment is non-negotiable, despite an atmosphere of lecturing, hectoring, hostility, belligerence from the United States. In just the last few weeks, India has emphasized its autonomy, emphasized independence of foreign policy, and emphasized non-alignment being completely non-negotiable. So those are my big takeaways from the images of these three big leaders.
Even as you're talking about the messaging being done by India, Shiv, Vishnu, and I would like you to come in on this. The US Embassy in India has just tweeted the partnership between India and United States continues to reach new heights, a defining relationship of the 21st century. This month, we are spotlighting people, progress, and possibilities. Are we reading too much into the timing and the messaging?
I think that's an important statement.
And just before the bilateral between India and Russia starts.
I think there is an effort in America to fix what Navarro is doing, ruining the relationship. 48 or 72 hours back, there was an American warship in Chennai. They were working with an Indian submarine over there, in the dock at least. That strategic relationship continues. You cannot switch it on and off like that. There's been far too much work in it. If you've got that statement from the US Embassy, I think that's significant because at a time when there has been a sense that America is willing to throw aside the relationship, you've had these hopeless references being made by Peter Navarro, including that Brahmin reference today, utterly unnecessary.
But is it fair to blame only him? He's not the only one. It's not like President Trump has...
for the US government.
And also the US President himself has not been doing his country any favors.
My limited point, Padmaja, is that I think there's an effort to fix it, to try and stabilize it, to come to grips with the fact that this is going deeply south in terms of America's interests as well, and perhaps try and stabilize the scenario, as it were, before there can be some sort of change. It's an issue of trust, which was built up. That's gone down the tubes. When it comes back is a larger issue. But I do see that as a significant
Professor Chinoy, do you think that there is a little, even if belated, effort at trying to mend the damage? And are the noises coming out of SCO responsible for that? Is America now waking up that all the other countries are not the pushovers they had imagined? Ma'am, sorry, I think you're muted.
In the US, there are different factions. There is the one with Trump, which is putting pressure on India. They believe they've downgraded India strategically. They've hyphenated Pakistan and India all to the chagrin of India. India doesn't like these kind of insults and said it's a dead economy and a series of others. But there is a faction led by others which are critical of what Trump has done. And they've said that India has been a partner and we've built this relationship for the past 25 years. Before that, again, there were issues. It's not, that India-US relations have also always been wonderful in the last even 50 years. This is the recent development is just 25 years. So there is a faction which is putting pressure. The deep state is obviously in the US divided on this. But they can see that in this conjuncture, it is a bit late where India is going to diversify their relations in a much bigger way. Earlier, they were being very restrained within the BRICS, within the SCO, about criticizing US unilateralism, but now that they felt this stick, they are also leveraging their positions and their relations with Russia and China. In that, everyone has their own agendas, of course. Russia has all, for a long time, since 1998, spoken of the Russia-India-China, the RIC, which you're mentioning, but it didn't take off precisely because of the India-China issues, which are there and have not all been resolved, though there have been significant steps in this last two or 3 months, where the 24th meeting of the special representatives, the 10-point consensus framework, and similarly, the relations between Russia and India are moving even
Professor Chinoy, I'm just interrupting
further.
you now because we need to take a short break. But what we'd like to do now is to bring you video and images, because there's so much in the imagery today of defining moments at the Shanghai Cooperation Organization session today. The meet, let's take a look. Over there, Prime Minister Modi, along with Xi Jinping and Vladimir Putin over there, bonhomie over there, this image of Putin with Modi, that also. And here you can see Shahbaz Sharif, the Pakistani Prime Minister, entirely ignored on a day in which there's been this very strong statement against terrorism. Again, more imagery of Putin and Modi walking hand in hand. This gesture of peace would be seen all over the world. Then Modi in Putin's vehicle, there's a bilateral talk which is supposed to take place. It may have started already, not entirely sure. But those are some of the defining moments at this SCO session, perhaps the big highlight of which was this very, very firm, very, very strong statement against terrorism with direct mention of Pahalgam. That is of enormous significance to India.